Alrighty, Roo. Let's dive in. Welcome to the Q&A with Carl, myself, Vitruvian Health, in the dungeon itself. These are two walls, so it's quite tight in here, but let's get into it and have some fun. So, full disclosure, disclaimer, all information from Vitruvian Health regards to training, nutrition, and therapy is for educational purposes, is not meant to diagnose or treat health conditions. That is not a replacement for treatment to a healthcare provider. If you have concerns, please consult with your local GP or reach out to Dr. Mason for spinal. So she's a chiropractor. If you're looking for oral, for dentist, Michael Kai, Pitt Street Dental, he's the guy to go to guy. Blood work, I recommend Christian Otober in Melbourne or Christian Maurice in Canada. So there's some people that we work with closely. So with that done and dusted, let's dive in and let's talk about straight off the bat, what is the best type of protein for muscle building? Well, that is a great question. All of them. As much as it probably pains me to admit, all of them are good for building muscle. Now, let's go deeper into that question. So when it comes to building muscle, I believe in whole foods. I utilize protein shakes for meal replacements for time efficiency. So really, when looking at protein, they're broken down into three types. So you've got whey protein concentrate, you've got whey protein isolate, and then you've got hydrolyzed. Then you've also got collagen, you've got pea, rice, pumpkin, sprout. Like I could pull up a whole bunch of other ones, but really these are the main ones that I know of and I utilize. There's also amino acids, so leucine, lysine, valine. Like you can look up amino acid profile list and you'll see a whole bunch of amino acids. But the thing to look at if you're looking at amino acids is what are the EAAs, so essential amino acids, because it's in the title, essential amino acids. Essential. Like air, I heard. Isn't it interesting that breath, if is like you resetting every 2 minutes, you could die, but when you breathe, you reset the timer. So comical, essential, it is essential for life. So welcome to those tuning in. So protein powders, the best for building muscle, in my opinion. Well, I prefer hydrolyzed isolate because it has less irritation on the gut. Then you've got aminos, which I usually would do with nuts or bit of fruit, so the carbohydrates there because there's lower cal. And then I'll use, if I'm doing a second shake on the day, I might use hemp, pea, rice, and sprout, and pumpkin seed. The reason being is that's just white wolf. So when you look at protein powders, when I look at it, it's like real food is king. So you wouldn't eat chicken 5 times a day, every day of the year, for the rest of the year. You would obviously look for variety. Variety is king. So some foods have more essential aminos than others, different variations. I think there's 26 types. So a variety is king. So same with your protein powders. I don't utilize the same one. Whey concentrate. So when they make the whey, it's like isolates the purest, then the isolate, which is a slower releasing one, and the concentrate's just the rest of it. So it's really cheap. It's convenient and helps get the job done. So a lot of people will use concentrate. They'll get great results out of it. So it's fine too. And Sean Cooper, the man of Sabido himself, has told me like 10 years ago, I used to be notorious where it was all about just the number of protein in the number. So like Musashi, banana, vanilla, chocolate was 30 grams of protein, but strawberry was 30.2. So therefore, everyone should do strawberry because it had more protein. But over the time, I learned that isolate and hydrolyze was better on the gut. It was faster absorbed hydrolyzed and slower releasing isolate. So that was more ideal because you want fast acting, but you want slow releasing over time. So you wouldn't get as hungry, but also release it slowly through the digestive tract. And concentrate was just like the worst of the worst in comparison. However, talking through Sean, he's now informed me like through science, the really reformulated whey concentrate. So those that you see a lot of gut issues and problems, like to the point where some people would have whey concentrate and they just be like, oh, yeah. And so it would have that like effect. And so a lot of people have it late at night to help with the amino acid window, but they wouldn't sleep as well. So that would affect recovery. So recovery is important for building muscle. But we're talking about proteins. So back on track. So those are my go-tos. So hydrolyze and isolate, and then I'll do an amino blend intra-workout. So I want to bring up BCAAs, EAAs, so the whole schmozzle of it. So if you look up Sabido, they do a amino supreme blend. So it's got electrolytes, aminos, and EAAs. So all three. You can buy all three separate, and then you mix it together. I like convenience, so it's all done for me. So that's that part. And then the second shake, which is where I'll use a combination of rice, pea. It's 80% pea, 20% rice, because it gives a good combination of amino profile. So a lot of people are like, oh, if you know, being vegan or plant-based is hard. Not really. Like, you've just got to find a combination of proteins, because vegan protein or plant-based protein is incomplete proteins. The reason why like collagen and whey is superior, it just has a higher profile per like gram. However, by doing a variety, you can actually get the same amount. So I believe it's like I do a 40-gram shake protein. It's like equivalent the amino profile to 30 grams of protein. So I kind of work it out. So I do a combination of hemp, pea, and rice. And I mix in the other, like it's got pumpkin, sprouts as well. So more variety, the better. It's good for the gut. So that is the types of protein powders that you can get out there. Best for building muscle. It really comes down to the timing of your protein intake. So when you're consuming meals, the thing to know is you're in a fasted state first thing in the morning. So you want to break the fast. The goal is to maximize hypertrophy. And then you also want to have like straight after your workout. That's why the 30-minute window, because that's when it peaks at its highest. The body will utilize as much of that protein and break it down in amino acids as possible. But then you also have pre-bed. So like the challenge with pre-bed is that if you eat too much, your core temperature goes up, it affects your sleep. That's a challenge. So the problem, like for me, I'm always hot. So I just don't sleep with sheet a lot of the time. Like it's just on my chest and one arm, and I'm like, where partner will sleep, blanket, quilt, sheet. Like my hand touches her side. I'm like, oh my God, it's so hot. So you've got to be cautious of the timing, because ideally pre-bed is where you want a large amount of calories or macronutrients so your body can slowly digest it over time. The problem is if it affects your sleep, then that affects your recovery. So double-edged sword here. So for those that can get away with it, go for gold. For those that can't, I personally like to do like potato with a bit of fruit or rice, and then I do a bit of maple syrup if I'm looking to put on size and not so concerned about fat gain, just because I like to eat a lot of food. So if you manage those calories, like save your carbs for the evening, but post-workout and pre-bed. So you get a large amount of calories, good amount of protein, usually egg whites because it's easy to digest. Like, wow. So those are some things that you can do pre-bed. So usually it's 500 grams of egg whites, 700 grams of potato, 180 grams of berries, so that's 120 grams of carbs, plus 65 ml of maple syrup, so it's 180 grams of carbs, 50 grams of 500 grams of egg whites, got 500 mils, because 10 grams of protein is 100 mils of egg whites. Or I'll do some steak, chicken, fish with some veg. And then off to bed I go about an hour and a half later. So, but for Kate, my partner, she has to do it 2.5 hours because it affects her deep sleep, which we've, through tracking her Oura ring, we can see that actually affects her sleep. All right, let's dive into the next one. What are some good exercises for reducing stress? Bedroom. Number 2 is lifting heavy weights, and as long as you don't have hypertension. So if you do have hypertension, then you're probably looking at more improving cardio. That's a challenge, because you're going to improve cardiovascular system, then bring your heart rate down and work on nutrition, and then you can actually train with some heavy weights. I personally love training arms. Like, I can flog myself when stressed. I don't need a huge warm up to do it, which is great. Some people actually like running. Anything that's monotonous, easy to do, but you can push yourself on, usually I find is quite helpful for stress. Anything that's super complex and problematic, then a lot of people get overwhelmed by it and they're like, ah! And actually makes it worse. Like Dr. Mason, she'll tell me, this exercise I'm not doing. Okay. Like, I don't want it. Cool. Then don't do it. So yeah, the ones that work best for you, but usually big compound, squat, bench, dead, pull-ups, dips, bent over rows, shoulder press, front squats, So incline press, yeah, we got it. And then other exercises that work for you, but as long as you're not hypertensive, remember that. What are the best ways to measure my fitness goals? Oh, this is a great one. So the best way to track, like to assess your fitness goals or progress is getting an assessment done. Like anyone that's watching this, if you want a structural balance assessment, damn, I'll give you one. It's super easy to do. We do your body composition, assess where your muscle and your fat mass is. Then we'll do a structural balance looking at how you squat, how you overhead squat, looking at shoulder function, hip hinge, back bend, and clat test. We now do an active hamstring raise, which is pretty cool. So we've actually been finding a lot of active and passive deficiencies. So what that means is like we can all like bring our arm all the way up so you can touch bicep to forearm and then extend back. However, when you're activating, contracting that muscle, you might only be able to get to there. So there's a deficiency. So you have the ability to go there, but your ability to contract the muscle and work it only gets to there, which is pretty interesting. So a lot of people I've found lately through testing this is a lot of deficiencies. So we use a thing called PNF, proprioceptive neuromuscular facilitation, and a lot of people like they're contracting at end range, getting stronger at their range of control, and then what we're doing is bridging the gap in the active versus passive range. So getting tested, you could also like jump on a treadmill, bike, elliptical, do a 200-meter sprint, 400-meter sprint, 800-meter sprint, and just time yourself. If it takes say like 30 seconds, yeah, get tired already, like that, then maybe dial that back. Challenges and all of air in this room. So you'll find out how much air your body can handle. If you do 400 meters and the 60 seconds, 800 is like 2 minutes, cool. You can have your time, implement whatever you want. And if you're like, I'm going to eat chocolate cake every day whilst doing the elliptical for 30 minutes and then only doing lunges, great. Reassess that in 30 days time, so in a month, and just see how you go. You're like, and you can then go and check 200, 31 seconds, 400, 70 seconds, 800, minute 50. You're like, my short distance got worse. But my long distance got better. Wonder why? Maybe the secret is chocolate cake. I will keep the chocolate cake and I will change my cardio. And then like you come back to it and then you can see what happens. So, and if it gets worse, you're like, okay, I think it's the chocolate cake. So finding stuff that you can't really fudge is pretty good. So the way we would like to do it, the way we do it at Vitruvian Health is we do a movement screening. So it says how your body moves, we film it, we record it. Then if you pass, we've done over 15,000 movement screenings, not one single person has passed. It's not because I'm a tight ass. I just have a standard that I want everyone to meet, and no one's body's been able to meet that standard. So I refuse to then max someone out, because if your body's compromised, you're at a high risk of injury. Now, there are other tests out there that you can get people straight on the bar. Cool, go for it. It's just not the way that I work. There are great people out there like Australian strength coach, Sebastian Ora, George Mozart, Tats Plun, strength coach, Sydney strength coach, PP physio, like heaps of these guys, really good at getting people into positions. So I recommend people go to them. But I like to make sure that the structure that I work with people is not compromised so they don't get injured. So then by doing that, putting you in the position that your body needs to work in, you'll find getting into position gets so much better. Like literally had a lady who couldn't squat, get about 35 degrees. Within a week, she's now squatting full depth. And that's just by getting her to do the exercise she needed. And I'm excited she's seeing Amy tomorrow, so that'll be really cool. So movement screening, body comp assessment, establish where your body fat is and muscle mass. If you're like, I don't like that, cool. You can use scale weight. But remember, scale weight doesn't tell you body fat, muscle mass, skeletal muscle. So you are skeleton, bone. So the thing is, you just use scale weight as a number. It's nothing else. It's just a number. If it goes up, goes down, doesn't matter. You just track it and you see what it does. So when you assess yourself, you might find the average is actually up 300 grams. Okay, cool. I ate chocolate cake every day. That's probably because of chocolate cake. But if you're stronger, you're feeling better, maybe it's not the chocolate cake, maybe that you put on some muscle. So that's cool. And then you can use biofeedback. So you ask yourself, like, what's my stress like? Rate out of 10. What's my so we ask training, nutrition, lifestyle, stress, sex drive, like libido. What would you rate it out of 10? And then we can just see a metric So if it goes all the way down, cool. You're performing better, so the training's working, cognitively everything. So then we know chocolate cake. Or if you're like, I'm always tired in the morning. Okay, well then it's probably sleep. Oh wait, you scored sleep an 8, now it's a 3. So you can then be able to more pinpoint more accurately what's going on. How do you know if you're physically fit? Well, fitness is the ability to move without pain. So if you don't have pain, you are physically fit. That also comes down to people's interpretation of what fitness is, but that's the definition. What training is best for an overweight woman? The exact same thing for an underweight woman. Structural balance, get them strong so they can do what they want. So the question that I would follow with that is like, what is it classified as an overweight woman? Because if we look at the body mass index spectrum, an overweight woman can be a woman who has more muscle. Okay? You could have a woman, like a lady, a man, anyone really, eat a roast chicken with chips and gravy and vegetables, and now she's overweight. But she's got food in her gut. So when she gets to the bathroom tomorrow, she's no longer overweight based off of BMI. So that's the challenge with BMIs, is that they're not incredibly accurate, in my opinion. A lot of people say your opinion's wrong. That's fine. A BMI is a great tool to get quick data and information. And again, if you use it all the time, it's consistent metric. It just doesn't tell you the body fat to muscle mass. So there's DEXA scans you can do, but we have a body comp assessment, 4-site, 12-site, that we can use to give you that information. So if an overweight woman, if she's high, if a female who has, which is our next question, how long would it take to lose 30 kilos of fat if she was overweight by 30 kilos, then that's a different story. But when it comes to losing the weight, usually a healthy weight loss would be 0.5 to 0.25% of your body weight per week. So you find out your base calories, go into a deficit, stay there for 3 weeks, refeed back to your baseline. Then bring it down a little bit lower, bring it back up. So you can be 1,800, 2,000, 1,700, 2,000, 1,600, 3 weeks, boom. And you're looking to reset the metabolism so you can gradually lose that weight and maintain it. So that's something to focus on. Let's bring that overweight person down. But at the same time, by getting stronger, lifting more weights, the cool thing is, relatively, you're getting really strong. So you might be like, one lady, she lost a kilo, but she's added 20 kilos to a lat pull down. She's like, I don't feel like I've changed much. I'm like, you've added 20 kilos, which technically, if you were the same weight, you'd be weaker then, and you'd be stronger now relatively. So, it also comes down to your goal specifically. So usually how long does it take to lose 30 kilos? It's probably like 60 weeks. Rapidly, reach out to Jordan Roberts. He's had someone lose 30 kilos in 24 weeks with our systems. So dude knows how to do it. A lot of practical. But it's really just work on your lifestyle, work on your sleep, stress management, and your nutrition and training. What is the best workout to avoid back pain? There is no exercise to avoid back pain because you're always at a risk. But the thing is, by strengthening your lower abdomen, hip flexors, lower back itself, most people don't train the lower back, and you'll find that you're making the back even stronger. So deadlifts, rows, 40-degree back extension, 90-degree back extension, DHDs, reverse hypers, single arm dumbbell rows, anything that's going to work that back to stabilize, it's definitely going to get stronger over time. So top 3 exercises to strengthen your lower back and avoid back pain is number 1, deadlifts, number 2, bent over rows, 3, back extensions or reverse hypers. Reverse hyper is my preference, but most gyms don't have one, so use a back extension. How many times a week is required to work out? 1, in your opinion, your call. 2, in mine, 4 or 5 times a week. That's the number that I like. But for people that are very busy, 3, train 3 times a week if you're a busy professional, and literally get out 30 minutes a day, get some sun on the face to keep the body moving. Next, are fitness events effective? Yes. Done. A fitness track is worth it. Yes. 1, yes, they are. So, a fitness track is worth it. Yes, they are. Unfortunately for me, they're not. I get radiating pain through my wrist and my finger, like so annoying. So I can use a device for like 3 days and then I can't. I can use an Apple Watch, because I can turn off all the electronics of it, so it only tracks my steps, but I can't track anything else. I really am not a fan of it personally. It just annoys me. I really want to use like the Whoop, the Swoop, the Aura, the Garmin. I want to use all the features, but I just can't because the Bluetooth and the tracker, it's an electronic stimulant, which is actually an irritant, and my body responds like really badly to it, which I'm so annoyed about. But I don't recommend people wear them all the time. So it's to its own. For the devices out there, I love the Oura Ring. Helps really tracks the sleep. There's Whoop, Swoop, a whole bunch of them. But Oura Ring is my go-to for everyone. Usually when I work with people short term, I actually give them an Oura Ring because I want to track their sleep. So they're like $800 or something. So instead of my clients buying it, then I give it to them for like a month, track the sleep, and then we make suggestions and recommendations. So yeah, get an Oura Ring. And Aura, if you're watching this, you can totally endorse this. But they're I love devices. The more data, the better. The more data, the better. Can fitness help anxiety? Yes, it can. My opinion, anxiety is misplaced energy. Again, I'm not a professional. This is just an educational platform. But anxiety is misplaced energy. Because comical part is you'll say, Carl, it's a medical decision. You have no right to say that. Yep, well, you're putting your energy into that. So it's misplaced energy. Not taking away from anyone. It's a thing that battles a lot of us, cripples a lot of people and loved ones and family. It's a challenge. But a big saying that Tony Robbins would say that I truly believe in is like, and a lot of people, like if anyone's ever met Happy, like ever met Happy, like dude is fucking incredible dude, incredible guy. He literally is he's such a different aspect on life, which I love. People are like, oh, I didn't lose the weight. He's like, tomorrow is another day that you can show yourself you can. It's like, but, I lost my job. It's an opportunity to get a better job or to upskill. It's a time where you can upskill yourself to learn and grow more. People are just like, what? So yeah, I love his energy. I love seeing him. So if you're here, give us some love. But I look forward to seeing you in our next team meeting, which is next Thursday, which is pretty exciting. So great team to be around. So, but yeah, Tony Robbins would say where energy flow, where people say energy flows, energy goes, but also he'll say, like, if you a belief is something that you obviously tell yourself, and if you believe you have a limiting belief or you believe something is true, you 100% will prove yourself right. If you're like, nah, that's never going to happen, Carl, well, you've already guaranteed it because you're already saying it's not possible. But there are people out there that prove it every single day. So fitness can definitely help, 100%. Put your energy into that, definitely. By getting to the root cause of what's going on, it would obviously be much more empowering and beneficial to you. All right, next one. Which fitness watch is best? The one that works. I like the Apple Watch, personally. I find it really nice for me. It doesn't set me off on my wrist. But the Garmin, the Whoop, Joe uses the Garmin, Matt uses the Whoop. They all rave about it. So it is personal preference. But what is the purpose and the track for it? Because if you want to track the steps, that's going to work. If you want to track sleep, I like the Aura. If you want to track like day-to-day performance, like in training, Apple Watch and the Whoop, from what I've heard, are quite good. If you're wanting for running, then the Garmin. And that's purely from clients telling me their stories and benefits and why they have it. So, are fitness bands accurate? I do not know what that means. A fitness band's accurate. Like, probably, because they need to remember the words. So yes, that would make them accurate in their lyrics. Unless they're lip singing, then no. If it's meant to be brands, I'm not sure. Not all fitness brands are accurate because they are a supplement company and they want your money. So they're like when we talked about proteins before, like a lot of the time, like I actually bought $150 worth of proteins just to sample, and it turned out to be all concentrate. And I was like, damn it. So that's not going to work. Yeah. But fitness bands, if we're talking about the little bands that help improve stability and balance, they've actually been disproven. However, the placebo proves that they were right. So if you believe it to work, then yes. If you don't, then no. So yes. All right, I'm just going to jump on. So anyone that is on, hello. If you have any questions that you would like me to answer, jump on. Love it, leave it, enjoy it. So that brings us to the wrap of the questions that have been asked. So for those that are curious, I have about, I think it's 70 questions now, which is really cool. But I do a video on 10. It was meant to be once a week, and now it's twice a week, just because we've gotten so many, and I want to. My OCD is like, you should do more. And then we're doing a podcast where we do on one topic at a time. So that's fun. 2 interviews a week. So the 2 that are on, I have not commented at all. That is totally fine. I thank you for jumping on and enjoying the call, the Q&A. This mic doesn't work for this video using the headphones, but it does work for the podcast. So this is purely for show. You'll notice that the sound didn't change because it's from here. Alrighty, everyone, have a beautiful day. Enjoy, and adios, amigos. Till next time.